I've been dying to make this video. Hi everyone, it's Miriam with a Y. This is a video I am so excited to share with you. Kielty alcohol inks are now available in the US. For those of you who've been holding off on getting these because of the international shipping cost of ordering these direct from Ireland where they're made, you can now forego that expense. If you're not familiar with these inks, let me tell you about them. The first thing that makes these inks so special is their incredibly low odor and lack of toxic ingredients. If you use alcohol inks in your home or your studio, you know that every brand has an odor, and some have a very strong odor, which for some people is hard to tolerate for more than short periods of time, or worse yet, keep others from using the inks at all, which is such a shame because it's such an amazing medium. Kielty inks are a wonder in this respect. The inks are hand-produced by one man in Ireland. He's a chemist and microbiologist who cares deeply about producing products for artists that are safe and non-toxic. No other brand out there that I know has this feature. And as someone who suffers pretty severely from asthma, it's a pretty big deal to me. Now let's look at the 27 beautiful colors in this line. For those of you who may already have Kielty inks, you may have the first 24, but the three new ones are Blue Slate, Forest Green, and Harvest Green. Now, I personally would call this Harvest Gold, but on some surfaces, it definitely does have a green cast. I mean, you can even see the greenness of it in the bottle. But honestly, for me, it's more gold, but you might see it as a green. There are some beautiful reds, oranges, greens. Okay, these are my favorite rows right here. The blues and purples, I'm all about that. And what I love in this line is that the black is a true black. It's not like a blue black or a gray, because there is a gray too, but there is a true, honest to goodness black. Love that. One of my favorite products from the line is the blending solution. Now, every brand calls their version of this something else. Blending solution, extender, blender, but they all have the same basic purpose: to thin or dilute your inks so as to lighten them without affecting their binding ability. In other words, their ability to stick well to a surface, especially ceramic tile or glass. And to dilute those inks without decreasing the sheen of the inks. When we thin inks with isopropyl alcohol, we decrease both the binding ability of those inks and the sheen of the inks. It's usually not too big a problem on synthetic papers like Yupo or Grafix Opaque White, but it's definitely a big deal on slick surfaces like this ceramic tile or glass. For me, I find that blending solutions from most brands are especially strong in odor, usually stronger than the inks even, and I kind of had to give up using all of them because I couldn't take them. But Kielty's version, it's heaven sent. Really low in odor, non-toxic, and incredibly shiny. So how do these inks behave, especially compared to other brands? For those who love the wispy abstract look, these inks are very easy to use. They are quickly reactivated by alcohol. In other words, they're really easy to move. I know some inks are a little more challenging in that regard. These are very, very easy to reactivate. Another feature, which can be a plus, is that these inks dry faster than any brand I've used. If that's ever an issue, you can slow down the drying time a bit by diluting the ink with alcohol, especially 91% instead of 99%. That little bit of water in 91% makes it dry even slower. For those of you that are watercolorists, you may especially like the fact that a couple of the colors in the current line can granulate under certain conditions. In other words, give a little bit of a texture. They kind of have a grainy quality to them. Now that's something that may not stay in the line, so I think some of those colors are being changed so as not to granulate. So if you have an ink that does it, hoard it, because you may never see that again. As you can see, the inks blend really easily, and they're just lovely in color. And getting little extra details added in later is easy to do with these too. Okay, now for hands down my favorite thing in this line of inks, the layering solution. No other alcohol ink brand has this miraculous elixir. Let me show you very briefly what this can do. You'll see me use it extensively in most videos where I've done a representational painting, like this one that I'll link up at the top for you here. But just for a quick demo so that you can see the miracle that is this thing, I have it in this little bottle. I sort of transfer some into this bottle because it's super convenient. Now, this stuff, when I first got it, I thought, there's no way this could possibly work. Because everything else, like I've told you, has virtually no odor. This has absolutely no odor. This stuff, seriously, water has a stronger odor than this. So when I first got it, I thought, it can't work. It has, if you can't smell it, it can't possibly do something. But it totally does. And this you can spread with your finger or a paintbrush, depending on how precise you want it to be. So let's assume, just for fun, that I liked most of this, but I kind of wanted to take out, let's say, this green section right here, just because it would be kind of challenging. Like, I did some wiping, but I would really probably mess up trying to get this out with alcohol, because that could bloom into areas that I like, but this is going to save me. So what I'm going to do is just pour some onto areas that I want to keep. I'm just going to now use my brush. Now this will have no impact on what I've painted. It will go on and literally seal what I've painted without leaving a trace. When this dries, it is invisible. Like, it doesn't even make sense that it works. But I'm going to try to be as good about following this line as I can be. And I'm going to protect everything that I want to keep, including that little bubble right there. Sometimes what I do, just to see where I've got it down, is sort of tilt the paper so I can see the shine. And just for fun, I will leave a little speck of the green there. I'm going to cover that area up there so that you can see that that will get protected also. Just that little corner of the green I covered up too. And I'm going to let all of this dry. It takes about 15 minutes. I want it to be bone dry before I come back in and play. With the solution completely dry now, it's safe for me to do something you'd never do with an alcohol ink painting. I'm working with 99% alcohol now, isopropyl alcohol. It's the best to work with the layering solution. The solution's been reformulated so that it can tolerate 91% now, but for those with version 1 of the solution, 99% is the way to go. And I am going to pour it right onto the area that I don't mind moving or removing. And I don't care if the alcohol gets on areas that I do want to keep. And just to make life easy, I'll let it run off this way. And notice how all that's running off is just the area that I didn't protect. But everything else is staying put, including that little area right there in the green that I said I was going to protect. That's still intact too. And I can come in now and wipe away, and everything else stayed put, except for the area that I didn't cover with the layering solution. So now if I want to come in and, I don't know, draw something in here, I can. Or if I want to embellish this with something else, I have so many options. How amazing is that? It is completely clear, and of course I'm working on Grafix Opaque White, which doesn't stain, so I can really clean back down to the white. And really, remember that little green area right there that I covered? So that's still intact, and I just stayed within the line of that area, and everything else is just fine, untouched. But wait, not only can I remove, I can also add something if I want. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say, just for fun, I wanted to add some of the aqua blue, maybe over here. Maybe I wanted to add the color in these little bubbles here. But I don't want to disturb this. Well, this is all protected. So I've got a little bit of aqua blue here. I'm going to thin it with some blending solution. And let's say I want to paint, I don't know, how about here? So I can paint right over this and not have to worry about this now causing any of that to bloom. This new ink will not move the ink that's underneath. So if I want to color in these, for example, and I don't want to risk this blue causing this to bloom, I'm good to do that. I can just use my inks safely. And if I decide, yeah, I don't love that. Okay, well, now I'm going to take 99% alcohol here and some tissue and come back in and change my mind. Just take it off. Because this area is still protected. So the layering solution is going to give you so many options. You can add things, remove things, change your mind. This is a complete game changer that I have to encourage every alcohol ink user to have in their studio. My goal today wasn't to make a beautiful piece of art with you. It was more to show you what the inks can do, how they blend, how they move, how easy they are to embellish with just straight alcohol, how amazing the layering solution is. And I hope that you got that from this. I get asked a lot if Kielty's solutions work with other brands of alcohol ink, and the answer is absolutely yes. I'm a big proponent of having different brands of ink because each line has different colors, different properties, and this particular brand offers safety on top of it all. I could go on and on about why I love Kielty Inks and solutions, but I want you to have some time now to go get some for yourselves. Keep in mind now that when you do your shopping for these, you'll be able to also pick up other art supplies you might need, like Grafix opaque white plastic, or Posca pens for embellishment, or alcohol ink art panels, or Yupo. When you spend $50 on any products, your shipping is half off. And for a limited time, the entire Kielty line is 20% off. Links for everything I mentioned are in the description box, so happy shopping. I am so geeked to know that you can all get these inks now and the wonder that is the layering solution. Make sure to subscribe to be the first to know when other awesome products become available and to find out about all of them. Go get yourself some inks now and let your creative nature shine. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye now.